Okay, we are back. We just listened to Ants Marching by the Dave Matthews Band. A new experience for me.
Yeah, just kind of fun 90s party song. I've seen him in concert a couple times. I think really talented musicians in there. There are a couple of his songs that have a kind of spiritual or religious theme, but others that are just kind of like sort of rockin', kind of jazzy 90s songs.
So this is college era, this song.
Yeah, college era. So I had 3 KSLU shows in
3?
college. I had 3. Yep. So one was kind of 90s rock music with a buddy, Mr. John Kevaney. He's a father of children.
Oh, okay.
That kind of father. Another one was sports talk radio with now Dr. Dan Kozlowski, who's in the communication department here at SLU.
Oh, wow.
The show is called Mr. Koz and the Rev. And so it was a foreshadowing, you could say. That was a lot of fun. It was he and I just kind of horsing around. We did have the Cardinals bat boy on one time. That was maybe the peak of our media experience. And then the third show was I did some play-by-play for SLU basketball. So again, this is back in the day. Like they still did some of that, which was pretty cool. That was with a buddy of mine, Mr. Patrick Powers, who now does web design, who designed my website. I have a website if you're out there listening, joelaramysj.com. It's got some videos, some little, things I've written, a few other things. So, yeah.
Wow, lots of connections from KSLU.
You know, it all comes together, right?
I didn't know you had 3 shows.
Yeah, so I was over here a fair amount, did some U-News stuff. I did some homework on occasion too, so
fit it in there. Okay, so now is I feel like a transition point.
Okay, that's right.
Like college, how did the priesthood come into play?
Sure, yeah, people wonder about that. Yeah, a lot of grace. So I, did the media stuff, enjoyed that, and got involved in some great campus ministry events. So I was on 2 of these spring break immersion trips, both led by young Jesuits. Okay. So one is now Father Chris Collins, who is the director of mission and identity at SLU. So this was late 90s. He was here as a young Jesuit doing some philosophy studies as part of his training. He led a trip to South Dakota to a Native American site. And a lot of fun, great group. Still stay in touch with a few of my classmates. And just kind of hanging out with him. Got to ask him a few questions. And, a couple times went over to Mass and dinner at the Jesuit community. So this is the young Jesuits. They live at Bellarmine House. These guys now put on the Java with the Jesuits, which you might be familiar with.
Yes.
So, just kind of fun, like, having a meal with those guys, washing dishes. I was in a couple philosophy classes with them also. So, they were kind of like big brothers to me, a little bit older, a little wiser, but also still, a close connection. So, towards the end of my time at SLU, feeling like, I feel like God's leading me in this direction. I need to at least kind of give this a shot, like see if this is where I'm supposed to be. So after graduation, went up to beautiful St. Paul, Minnesota, which is Katelyn's home state, to the Jesuit novitiate. So we do our first 2 years, you kind of learn about St. Ignatius. You live in a community with some other young guys, as well as a couple older, wiser Jesuits to keep an eye on us.
Okay.
And the rest is history, I suppose. We do the 30-day silent retreat. That was powerful, a lot of grace there. I did the silent retreat when I was a SLU student. So, had some experience with Ignatian spirituality. And, here I am 20 years later or so. So, Holy Spirit has a sense of humor about these things. And it's great to be back.
Good. Okay. So our next song, your next song is Lord, Down to the River to Pray.
Yeah, so this one, this is from the O Brother, Where Art Thou soundtrack, which is a really cool a really cool movie, if you're not familiar. It has George Clooney. It's funny. It has also a really nice spiritual message. It's sort of about his redemption and being reunited with his family. Also some hilarious stuff. Has some awesome bluegrass music. This came out my first year in the Jesuits, so in 2000. So, I graduated in May, was in the Jesuits by August, and had a couple guys who were from the South in my novitiate class who were kind of into bluegrass and country music. A couple of them also had guitars, so this was kind of a transition into the Jesuit band, I guess. A lot of fun memories around this song and that group of guys.
Okay, let's listen to it. Down to the River to Pray, Alison Cross.
Maybe I'll...
Studying about that